Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Rebel Brick. Um, Today, I've been kind of putting a couple sets together. Most notably, I kind of put this set together here. And as I try to look behind me, I'm not seeing what the number was. I even have the box underneath my feet, so let me grab that up here. Um, so this is actually an older set. This is 75280. Now I know that I've kind of had some of the different walkers and everything else together before. I've never really grabbed all of them, and it has amazed me through the years how I know Lego has done different types of robots and everything else. They've had their Exo Force, they've done um, Nexo Knights, and with their Ninjago sets, they're doing a lot of stuff, and it's really wonderful. To me, it's a big thing to sit here and look at all the stuff that we've done in Star Wars. So, um, for me growing up, we had the ATST and we had the AT-AT, and then that's pretty much all we ever really had until we got like some of the expanded universe books, and they threw this in and they threw that in, and then we got later on when we got the prequels and we started to see some of this stuff. Now, this is an older set. This is a Kashyyyk um, Royal Army of the Republic. Um, would it be a ATPT, All Terrain Personal Transport? And then we have the 501st version, which they came out with like a year or two ago. I know it's not really for sale anymore. Maybe on Amazon it probably is. I've got three of these. I put one of them together this morning because I just had the itch. I really wanted to get another couple walkers done. So I figured, all right, well, here's a good opportunity. I can do that. Um, and then you saw me put two of these together. I do have two of those. I just kept one out here. And I got some of the Barca speeders and some of the other stuff in the background from some of the sets. Um, Here's another one that's a little older, and it's another small little personal transport, all terrain, whatever the designation would be. Whether they're going to use the same as these bad boys here, it doesn't matter to me. Um, just a smaller version, and to change things up and have different sizes and all that, that's fine with me. I mean, because I see different needs for different ones. um, I'm very familiar with playing a game called Battletech, and they have robots that are 20 to 100 metric tons and stand 3 to 5 stories tall depending on what you have. um, so they have ones like this that would be more in like a city street, kind of like our personal transports, or this one, which I'm just going to say is more of a modified version of this in a way, maybe a later version or something that's fully enclosed, whatever you want to call it, that's fine. Um, and I'm looking at on the sides, uh, you know, these are Lego like loudspeakers or whatever. I'm just looking at them as they're probably flashlights so you can look around. Because I know in some of the shows they showed like flashlights on the personal transports, you know, and it makes sense to me. Um, I don't have an ATST. I do. I picked up, actually, I think I have one more set of these. This is from the Separatist Army. This is one of their walkers. It was a three-legged walker. Um, and of course, then we have our um, AT-ET, All-Terrain Enforcer Transport, or so. And then here's, small little walking artillery piece, and then here's from the Mandalorian. Um, I threw this one in here only because I just wanted to make a little point. Um, we have droids, we have everything else. One thing we don't seem to have in Star Wars is a standard humanoid mechanized transport of some sort that does fighting for us. That's why I threw that one in there. Um, it's not a real long video I intend to do. It's not a big rant. I'm just, it's interesting the different sizes that we have, the different textures and setups and everything else that they've done along the way. I mean, yeah, this is an older version, and for Kashyyyk, they have like a lot more repeating blasters than what they had done for a lot of the other sets. Um, and then they also had like some like web cannons and stuff like that, so they can try and capture um, Wookiees and that later on. So um, how they change things up for different things later on and all that is interesting. I mean, even when I look at this version of the ATST, now this on the side looks more like it would be some sort of big spotlight, and on this side where I remember seeing one version where it was like a four tube missile launcher or something like that. Here it's some sort of, you know, repeating gun or something. And then we have the dual blasters. I actually have, and what I should do is I should pause this real quick. Let me do that. Okay. Um, so this is a miniature I picked up, quite a while ago. And this is another Kashyyyk ATST. So here we actually have a ATST, and it's got arms on here with some sort of repeating blasters, extra flashlights, and it looks like it's got, to me, like missile launchers. If I can get this all to work out right. I don't know if that's going to be another sort of cannon, or maybe that's a web cannon right here. Um, so it's just, how things have changed for different avenues of what the Empire has been going for and all that. And if we're putting arms on here that can actually articulate, I am surprised that we have not seen any other ones like that. So let's kind of throw this back here a little bit more. So it's just the whole observation of it all that I am surprised we have not had regular kind of like a BattleTech battle mech or walker or whatever you want to call it. I know Star Wars, they have always called them walkers, which I'm fine with. Every game or movie or whatever, they want to call it their own things, and I don't have any issues with that stuff. I think it adds to a great sense of how everyone wants to distinguish themselves from everyone else, and it makes it fun and interesting. I know my heart's always going to be with Star Wars, no matter what happens with different movies and all that. You take in today's version of Star Wars, you take the things you like and you throw away the things you don't. And I know I'm doing a Star Wars as a role playing game, and I'll probably film that later on today. I'll get this one up first. You just go with the things you like and you love. And you hope that you can find a good community. And I think Star Wars has always been a pretty open community. I know there's fans that don't like certain things or whatever, and I can understand their thoughts on it and all that. I try not to get into it too much. Yeah, there's some movies I didn't care for, certain things I didn't care for. But if you ever really notice a lot of what I talk about, I'll take some of their stuff. I'm always more interested in more of the legacy stuff. So that's before the last trilogy that they did. And I really like adding a lot of the equipment and ships and all that stuff. There's a huge galaxy out there, and that's the whole thing. You have some other group that's making something to add to their fleet or whatever else, and when I see some of the video games and they're tearing up some of the old ships, and knowing how our military is in the United States, and I'm sure it's the same way in a lot of other countries, in that when you have old material, it takes a long time before you actually take it all out of service. You'll take something old like the ATET, or maybe it is TE, Tactical enforcer, whatever. Um, you'll keep that in service for as long as you can, but it's not going to be in a primary unit anymore. It's going to be in some sort of reserve unit or backup unit, or far out of the way unit that they're getting all the leftover stuff, and then when AT-ATs are being replaced with something else, then they cycle it down to some other unit and they're getting it for their first time, but it's somebody else's used stuff. And it's how you kind of maintain militaries and that for a long period of time. So just kind of wanted to give my thoughts on it and kind of show you some of the differences that it strikes to my core of, here's an older version of essentially this. And I mean, when you even look at the feet, how we did the feet in comparison to how it was redone later on, to here is what essentially it was in the movies. It's all kind of round and circular, and it's got the extra claw in the front, and you know, and that's how we did it for this out of Legos. And I know that we have, some things that we can and can't do so much with Legos and all that stuff. We do really well. I really give a lot of credit to the people that come up with the designs for Legos and how we can do the feet, and we can change things to make it look very close to what it is in the movies, and how we can get everything going. They've changed a lot of things along the ways, streamlining how things are. Um, we have a lot more curves and not as much boxiness and all that stuff than what we once did. So I'm going to end it there. With that being said, thank you so very much for stopping by today. I hope you have a wonderful day and keep working.